What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Perimeter Predators. Today we're going to be checking out some of the crocs here at the sanctuary, as well as checking out some crazy updates here that I'm very excited to announce. Alright, so here we are at the medium enclosures, and here's Ragnarok's girlfriend. Now obviously, you know, I designed those shallow sections for exactly this reason. It gives them that chance to do exactly what they do in the wild, where they can go up to a bank and really thermoregulate. So the normal female salty's looking good, so let's check out the golden ones next door. Alright, so next up is Ursula. And she's a rather jerk of a croc. Oh gosh, dang it.
Oh, she pulled that off again.
Pieces off again.
So you guys see right there, she likes to rip that off.
That's the second time. If you're gonna see, there's 3 screws. I put them in myself, put an extra screw on there. At this point, we're going to have to put a piece of wood on top of it and squash it down because she's being a freaking jerk. I don't know what it is. I don't know why she's doing it, but she is doing it, and she absolutely loves to rip that off. It's just like a teething thing. It's like, you know, she just nibbles at it, and I guess all of a sudden she just yanks it off. Now, with it being rubber, she's able to pop it through around the screws, and they don't rip it, it just pops through. So that's why I think we need to sandwich it down with a piece of wood. But we're back yet again to going in with Ursula and patching that up. Now that we saw a couple crocodiles, let's get into the updates. So this is quite an update here. So let's get into it and see what's what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 small ponds, well 10 in small enclosures, where we'll be housing Chinese alligators, freshwater crocodiles, possibly broad-snouted crocodiles. Broad-snouted crocodiles? Did I really just say that? Ew. Broad-snouted caiman. Dwarf crocs. Dwarf crocs are very terrestrial, so I just want to make sure this is enough land space. So maybe actually, Ryan, maybe what we can do is maybe that last enclosure, we'll just bump it out even wider.
To that corner area?
Yeah, for the dwarf crocs. That'd be super cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Give them a lot of land space.
Yeah, but you know, like freshwater crocodiles are a very aquatic species, so they don't need a ton of land space. Dwarf caiman are a very aquatic species, not to be confused with dwarf crocs. Dwarf crocs are very terrestrial, dwarf caiman are very aquatic. So you have to set up their enclosures very different. You can't, just because they're small, doesn't mean they like small little packages. And you can treat them the same. But yeah, so sorry, as I was talking away, I kind of lost sight of it. So you can see the progression of each enclosure. So now we have the shallow section there, we have the deep section, which is 5 foot deep. Yeah, and these are little guys, so they're probably going to be only 4 foot max in here. So they're not even, when they're at the top, their tail is not even going to be touching the bottom. So typical Kyle fashion, I was like, well, you know, how do we make this better? And I think we did very much so in these new setups. So like I did with the large enclosures, we added shallow sections. It's a very big area, so what I've noticed with crocodilians and the ones I put in the deep sections is they like to just float around, and as long as they have a long run to swim, that's what I really care about. So they have the deep section here, and they can still motorboat over here. Motorboat over here. So utilize that tail.
So what's this going to be, just a little shallow section?
Yep, so this is a shallow section. So as you see, they actually just dropped this down 6 inches below, so it'll be like that. So the grass will come up to it. We're going to build the sand up. And I actually did this because, again, the crocs are small. So this is only 1 sheet pile wide, so it's kind of like a little breezeway, per se. So trying new things here because, guys, like I said, you know, I'm not just talking the talk. When I say every enclosure or in every week I learn something new, this is exactly that. So you can see now I've learned from the mediums and larges and extra larges that we can go back and implement there, but learning everything new. So especially with the small ones, I really want to break them up, really want to have visual barriers. And so if you look over here, so right here, we're building this up a foot, this up a foot, this is built up a foot. So you could have a crocodile laying right here and a crocodile right there. They're not going to see each other. So, you know, they can be basking over there, one can be basking over here, they're not going to see each other. Just really emphasizing not only just visual barriers, but also the space, really optimizing the space in these enclosures because You know, that's the thing is I love natural ponds, but man, they are terrible with space efficiency just because you have to have a ton of space for the banks. You have to have a good amount of area or else they could dig to the enclosure. So that's why I love this sheet pile, because again, natural bottom, sandy bottom there, sandy bottom here, natural sandy bottom. But you got 5 foot deep all the way there. You got you know, shallow section here, shallow section here. It is so amazing at space efficiency, and that's what I love about this design. So yeah, I'm excited to see this come to fruition.
And we're just talking about putting land space. This is the corner we're talking about, guys. So this enclosure, making land space over there for the osteolaemus.
Osteolaemus. Yeah, so this area is going to have a nice walkway as well, so the public can see the small section. That's the biggest thing. There's really not going to be any back area per se. There's no no hidden enclosures or whatnot. Everyone's going to be see everything we have.
You mean you're not going to hide the velociraptors?
No, we're going to put them front and center up front.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got roughly here the enclosure, go about like this, and then split halfway down there, and then build this up because that's what we learned is a good thing. That's what we got to do with the Orinoco's. We got to build it up because they have been digging that enclosure up tremendously. Did we show that yet?
I don't think we've shown the digging.
All right, we can go over there and show them digging. But yeah, so I think we need to build up an area because if we're breeding Chinese alligators, obviously we want the best results for them, and they definitely like a big mounded area, so that's what we'll give them. So yeah, this one we're completely redesigning, but changing it up a little bit and learning from it, and I like it. So that's a good thing, is we don't have to redesign it again, but now we have to do it to 9 more. So yeah, 2025, guys, that's our year, 2025. Oh God, I want to cry. I want to cry. I'm so sick of construction. I am so sick of construction. Ever since I moved down to Florida like 8 years ago, it's been nothing but construction nonstop. Yeah, I'd like to go to Costa Rica. I'd like to go to the beach even down the road. But yeah, it's a lot. All right, so what the heck is this? This is the introduction enclosures, and how they work is it'll be formed fully out of concrete. We're going to epoxy to seal it, and there's no ramps, so it's not like they're going to be rubbing their feet and they could develop osteomyelitis that way. But the reason for this is obviously biosecurity and cleanliness. So we can easily move the animals out, hopefully after they get along, and just completely bleach and sanitize the area, and then put the next round of animals in. So how this is going to work is there's going to be land areas here with a chain link middle, and the way that works is crocs on either side, and they can see each other, smell each other, work with each other, but not grab each other. That's the thing. So they can just get used to each other's company without thrashing and bashing and doing what crocodiles like to do. And honestly, guys, this will be done. They're going to pour this Friday, and then we're going to be doing the chain link and the platforms, and then these things are full. So we have 2 sets of groups coming in here. So what that means is one set is going to completely fill this area, and then we have another group coming in right after that. So we have off the rip, most likely we're going to do the Cuban crocodiles in the groups of 4, split 4 ways, and you'll have Cuban crocs in there. Then we have American crocs down there. We have 3 Americans. Freshwater crocodiles. We have African slender-sided crocodiles, and we have 2 pairs of saltwater crocodiles, and that's full. So there it is. So and then again, we have groups coming after that. So hopefully, if everything goes well with them, we'll have gates that we can open up, let them go back and forth. If everything looks great, then they move into, most likely these guys will be going into large and extra large. Some of them will go into medium. The freshwaters will go in the small. So we got the African slender-sided will go in the medium. Salties will go in the large. The Americans will go in extra large, if everyone goes well. I really am hoping, I've done a lot of research, asked a lot of people as to if it works, and it seems like it does. So let's throw a bunch of time, energy, and money at it and hope for the best, right? As you can see, guys, it is a very detailed, very complex setup. But once it comes together next week, you guys will have a much better understanding of what it'll actually be. All right, so like I said earlier, the Orinoco's have been doing a lot of digging. They've been digging all the way up here. It almost looks like hogs have been here. Now, obviously, hogs have definitely not been in here, but you see it's very muddy over there. But over here, you can see it's really dug up. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to build this area up. Now, in Florida, by code, you have to be at least 5 feet off of here. We're
Off
6
of
feet
where?
off of the top of the fence. So technically, this is their fence. So we're 6 foot. But we have 1 foot to spare. But what we can do is we can gradually build it out. So the center there will be higher, but the fence line, the wall line. Why? Will be lower. So that's what we're gonna do. Is I think they would really benefit from a big mound area. Leave that tree there, not mess with it, and just build this area up probably 2 foot, and then slope it down to a 1 foot here. And I think then they'll give them the availability to really feel more comfortable laying, because most likely they're digging around here, feeling that it's pretty wet, and then just abandoning it. Now, obviously, there's no male, so not too much of a rush. It's gonna take a while to get a male anyway. All right, guys, that wraps up a pretty cool update. We will definitely get into more details when the introduction enclosures come more to fruition. But until then, guys, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.